this? Okay. Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1782. Cross that one off. Movie day off. So normally this month we've been working through some classic movies, which are anything that was released in 1969 or prior. So up to and including 1969. If it came out in 1970 or beyond, then no. We'll do a set. I'm actually thinking that I think I might do one on movies that came out in the 70s, and then movies that came out in the 80s, and movies that came out in the 90s, and just kind of like do it by the decade. So we're currently doing anything that came out in 1969 or earlier. And we've seen some great movies. We've seen some movies I have seen before. We've seen some movies I have never seen before. But yesterday we took a day off. Just because I just wasn't feeling about watching a movie. I actually wanted to sit and read, which is what I did. So I took some time off. But my question to you is, what is your favorite classic movie? What are your favorite movies? So as a reminder, some of the ones that we've watched a few so far. And tonight we're going to be watching, and I already had planned, I had planned to have yesterday off anyway, because I was supposed to be driving home from San Diego. I wasn't going to be doing anything on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday for the movies because I was meant to be in San Diego, but we know that didn't happen. So on Saturday night, I watched Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, which we reviewed last night on the podcast. And then yesterday I had a day off. Tonight we're going to be watching Bullitt from 1968, and I'm kind of excited about that because I've never seen it. So this is one of these ones that I have never seen. I know it's got Steve McQueen in it because I also know that a distant cousin of mine, I'm still working out on what the actual relationship is, was Steve McQueen's double. He was the stunt double for him, and he's actually uncredited in this movie, but he was the one that did all the car driving and stuff like that. So it's got Steve McQueen, Jacqueline Bisset, and Robert Vaughn in this movie, and I have no idea what it's about. Okay, a nonconformist San Francisco cop is determined to find the underworld kingpin who killed the witness under his protection. Ooh, but apparently it has really good car chase scenes through San Francisco. I don't know. I've never seen them. I've never seen the movie. So we're going to be watching. Oh, Robert Duvall's in this. Who else is in this? I haven't even looked to see who's in it. I knew that Steve McQueen was. Let's see. Who else do I know that's in this? I know Robert Duvall's the only other name that, for me, that stands out. I'm sure if I get in there and start seeing people's faces, I go, oh, yeah, he was in blah, 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 blah. Or she was in da-da-da-da-da. Those are actual movie names. I'm just kidding. So last night we had a very quiet evening, just sitting and reading. We're making a dent in The Housemaid. Haven't gotten very far. What chapter am I up to in this thing? And I haven't been reading it. I'm up to chapter 9. I haven't been reading this as much as I would like to, but I've got 4 other books on the go at this time. Reading The Witches of Warboys, which is actually about people who used to live in the manor house that my ancestors also lived in. Although they were there in the 1600s, my ancestors didn't come along till 200 years later. So there's a kind of a tie-in with my genealogy on that one. So I'm working my way through that. What else am I reading? I'm also reading, what the heck is the name of that book? My mind has gone completely blank on what else I'm reading. It's a business book. Just thinking. What's the business book I'm reading? My mind is like I'm looking in there and there's nothing. I'm going, what's that business book I'm reading? It's a very rare occurrence in my brain to have nothing in there. So there is a business book that I'm reading. Oh, I know what it is. It's sitting right here in front of me. That's this one, 151 Quick Ideas to Get New Customers. It's right here, and it sits on my desk so I can pick it up and read it every now and again, because it's got just little short, goes down here, up there, little ideas. It's 151 of them. Which is actually a really good book. It was recommended to me by a friend, and I managed to get a printed copy of it because now it's not in print, so I have found out. Don't know if they're going to print any more of them or not. But we'll have to wait and see. But it's a really good book. Yeah. And there's a genealogy book. And I'm reading the book In Search of Our Ancestors. And this is a really cool book. It's one I read years ago. I pulled it out. I'm reading it every now and again. But it's little short stories about serendipitous moments, or what other word you want to use for serendipity, about how just things just happen and line up that they're able to find something about their ancestors, or find that missing link to their ancestors, or find that paperwork they've been looking for ages, and it's in an unlikely place. And why would they go to that unlikely place? Who knows? But they get somehow sent there, whether they met somebody who suggested they go and try that out, or whether they just had a thought about it, or whatever. Everything from finding graves in the middle of a paddock to finding documentation like deeds to houses and things like that in unlikely places, not in the accounting office where they're supposed to be, but down in some basement of some other building somewhere, in some archive place that nobody thought of looking in. So those are the 4 books I'm on at the moment. And the 5th one is just a romance one that I read in the evening to shut my brain down and go to sleep. Those ones don't really, well, they kind of count because it's book number 5. But yeah, so just doing some reading on that. And then I also have a couple of books that are on the Kindle app, on my Kindle reader thingy on the computer here as well. So one of them's to do with ChatGPT, so I'm learning more about that. In fact, I just had this really cool conversation with a guy in Australia, and I'm actually going to bring him on one day as a guest, and so you'll get to meet him. He's a really cool dude. And we just had a very interesting conversation about our backgrounds and, how things have changed over the years and that sort of thing. So I'm going to work on getting him on the podcast one night. When will it be? I don't know. You'll just have to wait and find out. That's all I can tell you. So, but that's basically it from us from tonight. Last night was, like I said, a nice quiet night reading. Tonight we're going to be watching Bullitt from, actually, what year was Bullitt? Did Bullitt come out? 1968, and it's an hour and 54 minutes, so just under that 2-hour mark, which means we're probably going to go for a quick walk sooner than we normally would. And then we're going to come back and find out and watch this big car chase through the streets of San Francisco. Yes, I remember reading about that. Well, hang on, here's a longer. Okay, so San Francisco Police Lieutenant Bullitt's tasked by ambitious Walter Chalmers to guard Johnny Ross, a Chicago mobster who's about to turn evidence against the organization. Chalmers wants Ross' safety at all costs, or else Bullitt will pay for the consequences. So yes, it's an action, it's crime, it's a thriller. I'm just looking to see what the trivia says, because sometimes you get some interesting things out of the trivia that's on IMDb. Although Steve McQueen was credited with driving during the chase sequences, it was actually shared by McQueen and Bud Ekins, one of Hollywood's best stunt drivers. From the interior shots looking forward inside the Mustang, it's easy to see which one is driving. When McQueen is driving, the rearview mirror is down, reflecting his face. When Ekins is driving, it is up, so his face is hidden. Well, there you go. You learned a little bit behind the scenes on how they filmed that. While filming the scene where a giant airliner taxis just above Steve McQueen, observers were shocked that no double was used. Asked if the producers couldn't have found a dummy, McQueen replied, they did. Great sense of humor. And Bullitt's reverse burnout during the chase scene actually wasn't in the script. Steve McQueen had mistakenly missed the turn. The footage was still kept, though. I love it when things like that don't go according to script. You never know what's going to come out of it. Several items of clothing worn by Steve McQueen received a boost in popularity thanks to the film. Desert boots, a trench coat, a blue turtleneck sweater, and most famously, a brown tweed jacket with elbow patches. Oh my gosh. So we have Bullitt to thank for all of that. So that's just some of the, those are just a couple of the trivia things that are on the IMDb page for Bullitt. So I will let you know tomorrow night what I think of the movie and give you some more feedback on it. So that's it from us for this evening. Have you seen Bullitt? Have you not seen Bullitt? Let us know in the comments. What do you think of the movie? What's some of your favorite scenes in the movie? And we will catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. And right now, I'm going to step out into 109 degrees Fahrenheit or 40 degrees centigrade to take my puppy for a walk. But we do short walks in the evening because of the heat. Although, yeah, if I take water bottles with us, we could go a little longer. But we're just doing short walks right now. Anyway, go out and have a super fantastic, sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Pacific. Oh, and we have a guest tomorrow night. So you're not going to hear about Bullitt till Wednesday. Okay, so tune in tomorrow night for our guest. Hei konara.